This weekend is a big moment for Darius Garland as he will participate in the NBA All-Star Game, the three-point shooting contest, and it will tell a lot about his future in Cleveland for the Cavaliers. Hey everybody, Billy BB back with you on Cavs Digest. Excited for NBA All-Star Weekend. The Cavaliers have three representatives. They've got representatives in the Skills Challenge. They've got a guy in the three-point contest. It is a big weekend for the Cavaliers. At 44-10, they have earned this. They deserve this, and it is a real moment to soak in for the Cavaliers. We talked about that in our last video. We've also been breaking down the buyout market. That's a big one right now. The Cavaliers lost out on Ben Simmons. You can go back and watch that video, leave your kind of feeling on that. I'm okay with it. I think that he's a vibe killer and just something the Cavaliers don't need. We're also looking at Mo Bamba and Killer to post about Larry Nance Jr., break all that down, and then see he has a 6-week injury. So that sucked to see. So it looks like Mo Bamba may be the only name right now I have my eye on for the Cavaliers in the buyout market. So you can leave a comment, let us know about that. We're right around 2,000 subscribers. We're really, really close. So I'm asking, if you haven't subscribed, you watch consistently. If you've watched once and you like what you see, subscribe. We're building those numbers. The channel's moving up. More content will come straight to you. And it's just easier that way for you to stay plugged in with us and stay plugged in with the Cleveland Cavaliers. So, as I said, it is a big weekend. The Cavs have Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, and Jarrett Allen in the All-Star game. I'm really, really excited just to take that in, just to see that. But for Garland, I think this is a statement weekend, and I think it could be something really, really special for the Cavaliers. So in the preseason, he was a guy I called out. I called him out plenty. I had him in trade talks. I can't back away from that. I was looking at things they could get for Darius Garland, moves they could make to move Garland, the most they could get, trade for him, capitalizing, all that. He has stepped up in every single way. I would argue he has had the better year than even Evan Mobley, and Evan Mobley has been everything we'd hoped he'd be, with Kenny Atkinson kind of taking control of those reins. Garland, we wanted to see him get back to his normal form, and he has jumped back to an all-star form, right? He made that all-star game in Cleveland in 2022. He is back this year. He has earned his place as an all-star, and he has proved people like me wrong. I don't want to say I thought he'd have a terrible season, but I did say he had to bounce back. He had to show us something, and I think he has done exactly that this season. Obviously, he gets the all-star nod. And again, I would say in everything that's happened for the Cavaliers going to 44-10, top of the East, top of the NBA for most of the season, he is the biggest reason why. His comeback, his step up, his bounce back, him being an all-star, playing with confidence, playing with swagger. You see him in interviews talking his ish, really getting after it about his bounce back. He feels what people were saying about him. He really, really feels it. And now to walk into where he's at as a two-time All-Star is really, really incredible. Last year to this year, again, a bump up in points, bump up in assists, and overall his shooting splits are way, way better. It has just been an absolute dream season for him, bounce-back-wise. He's representing the Cavaliers really, really well. They needed, that notoriety to go along with their record, and I think guys like Garland have done it. And tonight and this weekend is a huge opportunity for him. He will be amongst stars. He will be amongst great events, great moments in this All-Star game, and I think as Cleveland fans, we know how crucial and how big an All-Star appearance can be because we saw before our very eyes Kyrie Irving take two different steps in All-Star weekend. Right, that Rising Stars Challenge when he juked out Brandon Knight, put the sham god on him, got him to trip. That was a huge, huge moment for Kyrie Irving, and he really took it by the reins and went. And then, of course, when he was an All-Star MVP, it really convinced LeBron James what he could get into if he came to Cleveland. For Garland, he has had this bounce-back season, and I think this All-Star weekend is a moment for him to possibly jump back into upper echelon of the Eastern Conference, right? When they think point guards in the Eastern Conference right now, people are thinking Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Halliburton, some other guys. And I think Garland has the opportunity, not that he hasn't done it already, has the opportunity to vault himself. Cade Cunningham's a big name right now. Vault himself to the top, right there with Jalen Brunson. I think this All-Star weekend could be an Olympics-esque vault for Darius Garland, right? So we see these guys play for Team USA over the summer, then they come into the season and they amp it up a notch because they saw they belong. They saw how good they were. They saw how important they were to an Olympic roster. Devin Booker, Bam Adebayo, Tatum's done it at times. Jimmy Butler had a greater leap when he did it. Kyrie had another leap when he did it. And I think, again, this is a chance for Darius Garland to take another jump when he's in All-Star Weekend, whether he performs in the three-point contest really, really well against guys like Jalen Brunson and Dame Lillard, or if it's just All-Star Weekend in general. I mean, I look at this picture from the 2022. I mean, he's out there with Luka and LeBron. When he's out there again and hopefully playing well on Sunday in the All-Star, I hope it bumps his confidence up another level, something the Cavaliers will need for him in the playoffs, and then take that forward, right? I look at Jalen Brunson, right? He is the best point guard in the Eastern Conference, but everything runs through him. He gets most of the shots. He gets most of the airtime with the ball. I mean, he's the guy for the New York Knicks, so his stats being better than Garland's aren't overly surprising, and it's not necessarily talent. It's just he's the guy over there. Cavaliers, Garland's got that competitiveness in a way with Donovan Mitchell, even though they're making it work really, really well this season. I could see Darius Garland getting to Jalen Brunson's level, right? I could see those guys being 1 and 2, especially as Brunson gets older. I could see that 1 and 2 between these two guys closing a little bit, and especially as Mitchell certainly can take a back seat and seems comfortable taking a back seat to Darius Garland. I think this is a real moment for him to step up and play really, really big this coming weekend. Do you think Darius Garland could get to a Jalen Brunson-esque level, be the guy for the Cleveland Cavaliers? Drop down in the comments and let me know. Am I putting too much on one weekend for Darius Garland? Is it good enough that he made this All-Star weekend? Like I said, I didn't have him necessarily having a bounce-back season. I asked for it. I thought he needed it. I thought it was necessary for the Cavaliers to do what they've done and do more, as they still have to look at the playoffs and compete in the playoffs. But Garland has shown up and shown out to an even greater level than I could have predicted, and I think there's another level to reach, and I think All-Star Weekend is a big moment for Darius Garland to show up and show out. And I'd love to hear from you guys, see what you think as you drop down into the comments. Hopefully Darius Garland can get into that three-point contest, make a name for himself. Kyrie did the same thing, right? I guess I keep thinking about that Kyrie All-Star Weekend that really amped him up a notch, not just for the Cavs, but for the NBA in general. People took notice of Kyrie Irving, and I think people have taken notice of the Cavs, but I think this is a moment for Garland to step up and really cement himself in that upper echelon within the Eastern Conference names that people talk about. So be sure to subscribe to Cavs Digest as we react on Monday.